Hey, what's up guys, Arwood here, and I wish you a happy new year. I hope this will be the best one yet for you, and I thought what would be a better way to start the new year than uploading a new video that we all can enjoy. And with that, today I bring you the best hunter talents in PvP and in PvE for all specs. Okay, so first we're gonna start with the BM for PvE, mainly for raiding, but you can use these in dungeons as well, even in solo play. They won't be like the best for all scenarios, but mainly focused on raiding. You wanna start with improved aspect of the hawk, 5 points in there, then thick hide, and now you can, this is like personal preference, you can go with endurance training or improved revive pet. I go with endurance training because endurance training may prevent your pet dying, and improved revive pet is after your pet dies. So you want to kind of avoid situations where you may have your pet dying. And the endurance training is the only one that can provide that from the available talents. Then you go 5 in the Unleashed Fury, and then you end up with 1 in Ferocity for those 3% increased critical strike chance. This brings us to 16 talent points that we have available so far. For me, these are the best raiding talents for Beastmaster Hunter. Everything else does not add to either survivability or damage. There is improvement pet, but you won't be casting this in raids. You will just be losing too much DPS if you want to heal your pet. You may just want to ask a healer if your pet is getting low to toss it a healer too. But overall, these are the best PvE talents for BM Hunter. These you want to combine with Heart of the Lion, Beast Mastery, and the last one is optional. It depends on what pet you will be using. If you are using Wind Serpent, then you do not want Kill Command. If you're using Cat or Raptor or something else, which you probably are not, you will go with Kill Command. The reason being is Lightning Breath on Wind Serpent does not work with Kill Command. As you can see, it only works on Claw and Bite. So if you're using Cat, go with Kill Command. If you're not using Cat, pretty much the only DPS increase you will have is with Flanking Strike, even though it requires you to melee weave, which I'm not really a fan of. But if you pick Sniper Training, you don't have that many shot abilities because you're not picking up Chimera Shot and you don't have Aim Shot. So pick whatever you would prefer between Flanking or Sniper Training. Alright, so these would be your best PvE BM talents. For PvP, you would do something similar. For me, it's 5 in the Endurance Training, 3 in Thick Hide, 2 in Improved Revive Pet, 1 in Bestial Swiftness, 4 in Unleashed Fury, and 1 in Ferocity. You can maybe go 5 in the Unleashed Fury for more consistent damage, or you can go 1 in Ferocity and 4 in the Unleashed Fury, just for that extra crit chance, and your pets are hitting for a lot and critting for even more if you are BM with pretty much the same runes, except you will be taking Flanking Strike. In pretty much all situations, I would not go for Kill Command even if you're running Cat. The reason being is Flanking Strike just does a lot of damage, and you will have a lot of situations where Mage jumps on top of you, Warlock tries to close the gap, there are a lot of rogues, a lot of feral druids, warriors will charge you in, and this will actually provide a highest damage output, and it will hit for a lot between you and your pet. You can, if any of these attacks either from you or your pet crit, like you will be doing 30% of their health easily with Flanking Strike. It really does a lot of damage, and then you can follow it up with Raptor Strike as well. So pretty much similar thing. The reason you're not going with improved aspect of the hawk, even though you may like put a point, for example, you do something like this, or if you want more health, less armor, maybe you do something like this. The reason I don't even go for 1 point in there is because even when it procs, it is only increasing the attack speed on your auto attacks, which may help bring those priests down, but I I don't see enough value on the improved aspect of the hawk because you will have to move a lot in PvP. So I just skip it completely. I don't even use 1 point in it. Again, even when it procs, it probably won't be in a situation where it will be that useful. So I just go for the pet survivability, improved revive pet, and then just some extra damage. I would say that bestial swiftness is mandatory currently at level 25 because you do not have dash yet. Pets start learning dash at around level 30 or so. So this helps a lot to chase pretty much anyone in PvP, in battlegrounds, in open world. It's just worth sacrificing 4% damage to have your pet available and on the target all the time. Alright? And for the soloing, you can pretty much use the same spec, which is great. You are only missing like some damage, and you don't really need bestial swiftness for soloing mobs or even some dungeons. But again, it's only a minimal difference, so you can do PvP and then also go and do some solo questing or killing some elites or something like that with this spec perfectly fine as well. Alright, if you do not want to switch a lot between PvP and PvE talents because you do not want to respec all the time, you don't want to waste gold, I would then go for this talent spec. The reason why is BFD is pretty easy raid in my opinion, and if you already have it on the reclear every reset, that means that you do not need that extra damage. And usually, again, if you have it on reclear, even if you're pugging, bosses die between 30 seconds to like minute and a half to two on the last two bosses maybe. So the chance of proccing improved aspect of the hawk isn't really that big, especially for the first 4 or 5 bosses. You will be killing them fast. You will probably have fights where this won't even proc. So I would go, if you are looking only for one spec for BM, I would go with this one. When it comes to marksmanship, for PvE you go 5 in the efficiency, 5 in lethal shots, 1 in aim shot. And now this is where the things go a bit differently. Some people are going with improved aspect of the hawk and put 5 points in there, and with that you're finished with 16 points, 16 talent points. However, again, I do not like improved aspect of the hawk that much because fights are again really quick. So yeah, if it procs, it's good, but it's really low chance of proccing on majority of the raid bosses. So what I like to do instead is I go for the 3 in humanoid slaying, and then you can either go with 1 or 2 points in monster slaying, and then again 1 point in improved aspect of the hawk, just for that additional chance to proc increased attack speed. Or you can actually go 2 in monster slaying because there are number of beasts as the bosses in the BFD. For example, the last boss is a beast, so you can do additional 2% damage to that boss. Again, last 2 points are optional. This would be your main spec, and then you can even go to an improved Hunter's Mark, but it's not really that necessary. 6% additional increase in attack power, it's like 3, 4, maybe 5 additional attack power. It's not really that um, something that you will notice on the DPS meters if you add it. So, you can do add 2 in monster slaying, you can go to improve those aspect of the hawk. I would just go 2 in the monster slaying. With that said, the runes that you will be running are Master Marksman if you have another hunter with Heart of the Lion. You want Master Marksman as your best rune for Marksman Hunter. However, if you do not have any other hunter with Heart of the Lion, it's just mandatory to give everyone 10% increased stats. You would be gimping your raid too much if you're not running the lion, so it will be depending on situation. If you do not have another hunter that's BM with the Heart of the Lion, you pick Heart of the Lion. If you do have, you go for Master Marksman, as this is your best option to increase DPS as a marksman hunter. For the runes, you would go with Chimera Shot, and for the gloves, you would either go again with Flanking Strike, Sniper Training, or Kill Command. You can use Kill Command actually if you do not like using Flanking Strike. If you're running Cat, which you probably are Cat or a Raptor or a Marksman Hunter, or you can go for the Sniper Training, but it won't be proccing that often because you will have to move in most of the situations on most of the bosses. However, at least you now have aimed shot and you have chimera shot. So when it procs, when you do get that 10% increased critical strike chance, you may be able to get a couple of crits off before you have to move due to boss mechanics. If you go with sniper training, you will have 10% increased critical strike chance there once it procs, and you will also have increased by 5 here. So that's just 15% increase to critical strike chance on top of the 5% increase from lethal shots. So you can get to like 25% maybe critical strike chance depending on your gear. Okay, then when it comes to PvP, I would pretty much do the same with 3 in humanoid slaying and 2 in Hawkeye, just for the increased range. Or you can go 3 in Hawkeye and 2 in humanoid slaying. I don't think that there is really that much necessity for additional 2 yards. I would rather 1%. I would rather get 1% increase in damage and critical strike damage. And I would still go with efficiency because you are really mana starved as marksman hunter if you use your abilities a lot, because on top of your regular multi shot, you also have chimera shot and you also have aimed shot, and both aimed shot and chimera shot take a pretty good chunk of mana, so this actually helps you in BGs to not drink constantly. You can definitely go with improved concussive shot because it is really good passive to have, but I just don't think it brings enough value over efficiency. As I don't know for you guys, but when I'm playing in BGs, unless I'm in really organized group, having to drink constantly is just annoying. And if I can get away around it, then that's something that I would do. So yeah, I would do these talents as your best PvP marksmanship spec, with these runes, with exception of changing sniper training for flanking strike. Again, this is if someone jumps on you, it's pretty much the only rune that will help you survive, but by actually doing damage and killing them first, even though they are melee and they may be in melee range. This also shreds mages that will try to jump on top of you and frost nova you. You may actually do some surprising damage to them with the flanking strike. For the overall spec that you may want to go with, I think this is perfectly fine. Yes, you will lose 2 talent points from either monster slaying or improved aspect of the hawk, but these are the talents that you can use in both PvP and PvE pretty efficiently if you do not want to waste gold respecking. And again, the last 2 talent points that for PvP we put in Hawkeye are not really that game changing or game breaking or something that will make you do insane DPS. It's a couple of percentage of damage increase on only some of the bosses. For survival, unfortunately, there isn't really good PvE spec because in the first part of the tree you do not have any good damage dealing talents. You would go for humanoid slaying, then 2 in monster slaying, then 2 in savage strikes, and you do not have even any other damage increasing abilities. So honestly, I would not recommend doing any PvE build for survival right now in the 25 level bracket. What I would do is I would just, if you have again the raid on the reclear, I would just build the PvP spec and then use that spec for raiding. you will lose a lot of DPS compared to marksmanship or beast mastery. But if you're clearing the raid anyway with your guild or while pugging, and you do not need that extra DPS, I would just use survival for the PvP because it is really a fun spec in PvP and it actually does provide the most survivability out of the three specs. Now again, just keep in mind that you will be losing a lot of DPS in PvE if you go with this spec, but that is just circumstantial if you have it on easy mode or not. Okay, so you would go with humanoid slaying, 3 points in the air, 2 in deflection, 5 with improved wing clip. This is actually one of your best talents that you have in survival tree because wing clip may immobilize the target, which will root them and prevent them from moving, and this is very useful against all those warriors, rogues that jump on you and you cannot get away from. This will actually give you ability to get away from them if it procs. And good thing about wing clip is it's spammable, so you can just keep spamming it until it procs and then gain some distance, and usually other targets, your enemies, won't be able to get close to you, maybe with exceptions of feral druids or shamans, but they will still spend a lot of either mana or time chasing you after these procs. Next, you're gonna pick up deterrence. Again, great survivability talent. This may even help you if you're flag carrying. Then you pick 4 in survivalist. And what I like to do for my last point is pick sure-footed because it gives you 1% hit chance, and there isn't a lot of or any hit gear currently, with the exception of tier set. If you have 3 out of 3 pieces, you get 1% increased hit chance. So this will help you just a slightly bit with all those misses in PvP. So this is what I like to do in PvP. This is one of the, for me, more enjoyable specs, and maybe I would do this one in solo battlegrounds. So if you are not playing in premates, you're not playing in organized PvP, usually what happens in those solo games, you get jumped on a lot as a hunter. Rogues will try to jump on you, warriors will try to jump on you, feral druids will try to jump on you because hunters currently do not have a really good way of kiting, staying away from the targets once they get jumped on. So usually you are just a sitting duck with these other 2 talent trees, but with survival, with deterrence and improved wing clip, it's really good in 1v1 situations against melee, and against the casters. Hunters currently usually do not have that much issues, with the exceptions of Disc Priest, because it's really hard to do enough damage to go through that shield and to out damage the penance heal. And since you are not running beast mastery talents, it would be really hard to do enough damage. When it comes to survival runes, I would go with Heart of the Lion if you do not have another hunter. If you do have another hunter, I would actually go with Master Marksman and Chimera Shot, and also finish it up with Flanking Strike. So pretty much the same as you would do for Marksman. The reason for that is with survival you bring a lot of utility with improved wing clip. So I would top it off with Chimera Shot Disarm. This is really helpful to disarm warriors or rogues that are on your flag carrier, and you can also root them. So with this tree, you do not only bring damage as a hunter, you also bring utility, and you are slightly bit more survivable because you have more health, you have more defense, you have potential root, and you have disarm with Chimera Shot. You go with Master Marksman so you can support shooting many Chimera Shots without going that fast. But again, if you do not have another hunter, which is rare situation nowadays, with the aspect of the lion, then you do not want to hinder your team by not giving them 10% increased stats to each of your team member. All right, that would be it for today. Again, I wish you a happy new year. Hopefully, it will be the best one so far. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.